I used to run at the park every evening after work. Same trail, same time, same routine. It was a large public park, just outside the city with walking paths that cut through trees, a small lake in the center, and old playground equipment that always looked slightly out of place once the sun started going down. People always warned me not to stay too late, but I brushed it off. It was familiar, safe, or at least I thought it was. One evening in early fall, I arrived later than usual. The sky was already turning dark orange, the air colder than it should have been. The parking lot was nearly empty, just my car and a single van parked near the trees. That should have been my first sign to leave. Instead, I put my earbuds in and started running. The park felt quieter than normal. No dogs barking, no distant traffic. Even the insects seemed muted. About 10 minutes into my run, I noticed someone ahead of me on the trail. A man walking slowly, hands in his jacket pockets. He didn't turn around when I got closer, which was strange because my footsteps were loud on the gravel. I passed him on the left, nodding politely. He didn't react, didn't blink, didn't even breathe visibly. As soon as I passed him, my phone buzzed in my pocket. I slowed down, pulled it out, and felt my stomach drop. The screen showed a message from an unknown number. "Don't stop running." I turned around instantly. The trail behind me was empty. The man was gone, no footsteps, no movement in the trees, just the path stretching back the way I came. My heart started racing faster than my legs. I told myself it was a prank, a coincidence. Then my earbuds crackled with static. A voice replaced my music, low, calm, and too close to my ear. "You weren't supposed to see me yet." That's when the trail lights ahead of me shut off one by one, plunging the path into darkness, and something heavy stepped onto the gravel behind me. I froze mid-step, my breath catching in my throat. The sound behind me wasn't human, at least it wasn't moving like anyone I'd ever seen. Gravel shifted under heavy, deliberate steps, coming closer, circling me without crossing the path. I wanted to run, but my legs felt like concrete, rooted to the ground, as if something was holding me in place. My phone buzzed again, the unknown number flashing on the screen, but I couldn't bring myself to look. Then the voice returned in my earbuds, whispering directly into my skull instead of my ears. "You can't leave. Not tonight." Panic finally broke through. I spun and bolted down the trail, my shoes striking gravel in rapid succession. Trees whizzed past me, shadows stretching long and strange in the dim light of the few working park lamps. I could hear the heavy breathing, or maybe footsteps, directly behind me, keeping pace, matching mine exactly, even though I dared not look over my shoulder. The lake came into view, its surface smooth and black. Normally calming, it now reflected the faint orange glow of the sunset in a way that made the shadows near the trees stretch unnaturally long. I noticed movement along the tree line. Dark figures crouched and shifted silently, emerging and disappearing like smoke. The sounds of the park, the wind, distant traffic, even the birds, had gone completely silent. I reached the small bridge over the creek and tried to call 911. My phone refused to connect. No signal, no service, just the buzzing vibrating in my pocket as the unknown number sent message after message. Closer, closer, closer. A rustling erupted from the trees to my left. Something emerged, tall and thin, dragging 1 foot along the ground, creating a scraping sound that made me shiver violently. Its head remained tilted at a wrong angle, and its face was obscured by shadows. I could feel its eyes on me. I jumped forward, forcing myself to sprint across the bridge, my lungs burning. Behind me, I heard a cracking sound, the wooden planks shifting as if something heavy stepped onto them. I didn't stop running. Not until the park entrance was in sight. And that's when I realized the figures weren't chasing me. They were walking beside me, just out of my peripheral vision, silent, keeping pace, always watching. The lights pulsed softly now, like a slow heartbeat, washing the walls in a sickly glow. My name appeared beneath the message on the screen, first and last, typed out, letter by letter, as if someone were standing just out of sight, watching me read it. I felt my throat tighten. Nobody outside of management even knew my full name, and management never worked nights. Behind me, the sound of metal scraping across tile echoed through the hallway. I didn't have to look to know it was my cleaning cart moving on its own, wheels rolling slowly, deliberately. I forced myself to turn around anyway. The cart was halfway down the corridor now, drifting away from me like it was being pulled by an invisible hand. The mop bucket sloshed gently, leaving a thin trail of water that reflected the emergency lights like blood. From the direction of the food court, I heard laughter. Not loud, not joyful, just quiet, breathy chuckling that echoed and overlapped with itself, bouncing off the walls until it sounded like it was coming from everywhere at once. The footsteps above me returned, heavy and fast now, no longer matching my position but circling, hunting. I bolted toward the nearest service stairwell. The door was already open, swaying slightly as if someone had just passed through it. I took the steps 2 at a time, my shoes slipping on the concrete. Halfway down, the lights went out completely. Total darkness. The laughter stopped instantly. I reached the bottom floor and shoved the door open, only to step back into the mall. The same hallway, the same closed stores, the same directory screen glowing red at the far end. That's when I realized the mall wasn't laid out the way it used to be. Hallways stretched farther than they should have. Corners led back to themselves. Store signs displayed names I didn't recognize, written in fonts that made my eyes hurt to look at. My radio crackled again, louder than before. The distorted voice sounded closer now, right behind my ear. "You clean what stays," it said. Every storefront gate around me began to rise at once, metal screeching against metal. Inside the darkened stores, I saw movement, figures standing just out of the light, waiting patiently for me to choose where to run. I ran, not toward any store, not toward any hallway, just away. The sound of the metal gates rising behind me chased my footsteps, their grinding screech